Spectrum.
We begin tonight with a massive snowstorm taking over the entire Buckeye State. Right now, crews working around the clock to make sure roads are safe. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Imani Payne. We hope you're staying warm and safe tonight as we track one of the biggest snowstorms we've seen in our state in several years. With the major snow totals, cities and counties across Ohio are issuing emergencies in response. Now that's on top of the state of emergency Governor Mike DeWine declared on Friday. Tonight, we explain what's being done right now to make sure you and your family are safe moving forward. Plus, with the cold comes the threat of power outages, what experts are saying about the difficulty of keeping the lights on, and what you need to know if you find yourself without power tonight. And our eyes extend far beyond the Buckeye State. Later this hour, how this storm is impacting more than half of the country's population. As we just mentioned, this is a snowstorm that parts of the Buckeye State have not seen in years. Now this, as snow totals are expected to continue to pile up into the night hours. Here now to provide some context on this is meteorologist Tyler Seabree. So Tyler, with this major storm still active, at least as of Sunday afternoon, what are we seeing out there?
Yeah, we've had some very impressive snow totals already, and those are going to continue to climb. So, the final totals, the final numbers that everyone wants to see, we have some, but there's a little more snow yet to go. We'll have those final totals Monday morning. You'll be able to go on and we'll have every city, every location, and how much has fallen. And I think by the time all is said and done, we're going to end up, for parts of the state, Cincinnati, Dayton, Columbus specifically, are going to end up seeing one of their biggest or close to the biggest snowstorm in January in recorded history, and definitely the biggest since in at least over 10 years. It's been 10 to 15 years since we've had a statewide storm this significant.
Wow. Okay. Now we saw the conditions coming into the station today. I mean, it was a mess out there.
Yes.
So just talk a little bit more about that moving forward to Monday morning, what folks can expect out there.
Yeah, and that's why the National Weather Service is continuing with their winter storm warning here in pink. That includes the whole state. I do think the snow slows down through the evening, and then after midnight, most of the state is done with the snow. But these alerts, winter storm warning for every single county, that goes into early Monday because the snow that has fallen is going to really not go anywhere. It's going to be so cold that no matter what you do with it, you can plow it, you can try to get rid of it. There's going to be at least some snow on most roads, I think, even into early Monday. So I would assume if you're heading out tomorrow, if you have to on your Monday, I would assume that roads are still going to be problematic.
All right, really cold, really dangerous conditions out there.
Yeah.
If you don't have to leave home, if you can stay inside, do that. Tyler, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
I know you guys will stay on top of it. Now, the snow is coming down fast. Roads and highways across northeast Ohio are covered, while snowplow drivers are pushing the snow out of the way for drivers. Our Rose Todd is in Cleveland. And Rose, tell us what you're seeing for the current conditions and the traffic out there right now.
Yes, so the snowplow drivers have been pushing the snow.
All right, stay warm out there. Our Rose Todd, thank you so much for that report. Now, City of Cincinnati officials say their response to the snowstorm is going as well as they could have hoped. Crews are hard at work ensuring that primary roads in the city are passable. Now, that's despite the difficulty with continuous snowfall. As of Sunday afternoon, there were no reports of service outages. There were some water main breaks across the city. However, officials say that's normal during harsh winter temperatures. Officials are now thanking the public for staying off of the roads this weekend.
I want to thank the residents of Cincinnati by staying off the roads. This has given our staff an opportunity to plow these streets and take things curb to curb as we can.
Officials are hopeful that they'll get to residential roads by Monday afternoon at the latest. Cincinnati residents can track snowplows through the Cincy 311 app. Central Ohio also hammered with snow this weekend. The snow making travel dangerous for anyone who attempted to get out on the roads. The Franklin County Sheriff's Office issuing a level 3 snow emergency Sunday afternoon. Now that is the highest level of snow emergency there is. The Sheriff's Office says the last time a level 3 snow emergency was issued was in the early 2000s. However, that time was an accidental declaration due to some miscommunication. This time, however, is not. Well, here's a quick recap on what these snow emergencies mean. The local sheriff's office issues snow emergencies for the county you live in. A level 1 snow emergency means that roadways are hazardous and that there could be blowing or drifting snow. Roads could also be icy. Level 2 takes things a step further. Anyone out on the road should use extreme caution when driving. Only those who feel it's necessary to drive should be out on the roads. And while Level 3, which many of you saw this weekend, means roadways are closed. Only emergency personnel should be out on the roads. During a Level 3 emergency, the only time you should be on the road is if it's an emergency. Those on the road could face arrest. We'll continue to track this storm and the cleanup efforts that are underway. If you need any of our weather updates, you can find them on our Spectrum News app. There you can find our Weather on the One's forecast and other weather information in the palm of your hand. It's available on all of your favorite devices. Well, still to come, another person has been fatally shot by ICE officers in Minnesota. Still ahead, new details about that shooting. The top story around the nation, the historic snowstorm impacting several states across the country. You can see some of that snow in Dayton on the screen right here behind me. And further south in Kentucky, snow and sleet are causing hundreds of power outages. Spectrum News meteorologist Robert Sir has the details.
I'm meteorologist Robert Sir here in Louisville, Kentucky. Robert Sir, Spectrum News.
Tensions boiling over in Minneapolis for the second time in a month, a fatal shooting involving federal ICE agents. DHS says the man they shot was armed and officers were defending themselves. He's been identified as Alex Preddy, a 37-year-old ICU nurse at the Minneapolis VA and lawful gun owner who had a permit to carry. State officials are responding, activating the Minnesota National Guard to help local police keep protests under control. People are turning out by the hundreds despite the extreme cold settling in.
Another fatal shooting prompting another round of social media videos. Chris Welch, Spectrum News.
A medical examiner formally ruling the death of Renee Good a homicide. The Hennepin County medical examiner releasing that autopsy report. It concludes her cause of death was multiple gunshot wounds. ICE agent Jonathan Ross shot and killed Good in Minneapolis on January 7th. The Trump administration claims it was self-defense. Minneapolis leaders rebuke that claim. Ohio experiencing one of the most severe winter storms it's seen in more than a decade. Straight ahead, what power companies are doing to keep those furnaces burning. We're seeing several inches of snowfall throughout Ohio, and while the snow continues to fall in parts of the state, we're keeping a close eye on power outages. The majority of power outages reported so far are caused by vehicle crashes into power lines. That's according to AEP Ohio. The company is encouraging drivers to stay home and off of the roads if possible. Now, hundreds were left without power across the state, according to Power Outage Map US as of Sunday evening. The majority of recent outages have been reported in Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Tennessee. Here to talk more about keeping the lights on and the furnace going throughout this storm is Duke Energy spokesperson Matt Martin. So thank you for being here with us today.
Yeah, of course, my pleasure.
Yeah, so can you tell us what kind of preparations power companies make for this kind of weather?
So at Duke Energy, we have been making preparations all year round for any type of storm possibilities, whether it's during the winter time or during the spring and summer months. So certainly any of our preparations for this snowstorm, we're coming well in advance. We have an in-house meteorology team that continues to monitor the weather forecast for us so that we can be more prepared and also adjust our crews around and be prepared to respond as well. Being a larger energy company, we have the ability to also flex our resources around. If we do experience outages, we can move them around pretty easily around our Southwest Ohio, Northern Kentucky territory. And we also do other things throughout the year, grid enhancements, tree trimming, vegetation management to help ensure that we are most prepared for when storms like this do occur.
What is the typical wait time for people experiencing an outage during a winter storm?
It really can depend. The biggest thing when we see snowstorms like this, is the amount of snow accumulation. So typically it takes around 6 inches or more of snow to accumulate when we could perhaps see that land on tree branches or onto our power lines, which can cause outages. Thankfully, even with the amount of snowfall we've seen so far, we haven't experienced that. But that's one of the biggest things in a storm like this, where the amount of snow accumulation could lead to trees falling onto our power lines or snow accumulating onto power lines as well.
What are the difficulties that crews face when it comes to restoring power during a snowstorm of this magnitude?
Road conditions can certainly be a major factor in that during this time, but the way we prepare in advance for snowstorms, we have our operations center spread throughout our Ohio and Kentucky service territory. We have crews kind of staged around our service areas as well. So we're at least within close distance of various areas across all of our 900,000 plus customers we serve, where we might be able to get there in a reasonable time. But certainly with road conditions, especially how they are right now, that can make things a little bit challenging.
Sure, sure. Is there anything people should or should not do to keep safe during an outage?
Well, we certainly want our customers to be prepared. Make sure they have their phones fully charged. Keep plenty of bottled water and batteries on hand in case they do experience an outage, especially since we're expecting extremely cold temperatures to follow behind the snowstorm. Certainly, as I'm sure you are encouraging your audience to do, stay off the roads if possible. If you do see any of our energy crews on the road, just go off to the side, drive off to the side to allow them to pass by as well. If you are on the road and you do happen to see a pole that is down, make sure to avoid it because it still could be electrically charged. So we want to make sure that our customers are staying safe throughout all this. And if there are any outages and you do experience one, you can text, and you are in our service territory, you can text out to 57801 and visit duke-energy.com, where we offer our interactive outage map, which includes real-time updates on outages and estimated times of restoration.
All right, Matt Martin, thank you for joining us and sharing this important information. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's a winter storm the likes of which Ohio hasn't seen in a decade. Straight ahead, we take a look at how that storm is impacting Ohio and other states across the country, as more than half the population is feeling the impacts. Continuing to follow the massive snowstorm moving throughout the Buckeye State. This is another live look over downtown Columbus, where you can see snow is still coming down. You can see those snow-covered roads right there on your screen. Joining us now to talk more about this is our chief meteorologist, Eric Elwell. So, Eric, what can you tell us about what's happening and what you're seeing out there right now?
Well, as Tyler was talking about earlier this half hour, we have seen, of course, the snow taper off for a little while, but it is picked back up as yet another round has been coming in. And so this is the last wave that we do expect to move through. About another couple of hours of it, maybe another 1 to 3 inches expected to fall, and then things should begin to wind down. Here's a live view in downtown Dayton right now, and you can see the visibility has dropped off once again. Typically, we would see the downtown buildings there, not seeing them at the moment because of that light to moderate snow, actually moderate snowfall moving through. Live view in downtown Columbus here at the 31 after, and it's 15 degrees, but it feels like one. So you do not want to be stuck out in this with that temperature, that cold. And that's kind of the issue with this. And that snow has been, of course, sticking readily since last night, and live in downtown Cincinnati, where it's 15 degrees as well. Now, I want to show you how this storm started. This is a 12-hour loop. And here's the thing. We've been watching this wave of snow that developed all the way back across Oklahoma, and it's continued to track up into western Kentucky. And this has just been a huge swath of snow, but finally getting in on that back edge, which is now coming through Indiana. That will eventually move through, and we'll start to see this snow begin to wind down. But still, we have pockets of moderate snowfall. We had that little break in eastern Ohio that Tyler was talking about. Snow's about to pick up again in eastern Ohio, but light to moderate snow from Toledo down through Columbus. And you can see these bands of the darker blue. That's where these heavier snow bands are at this moment. We've got some that have been kind of drifting back through Columbus. So where road crews have cleared things, Imani, unfortunately, the roads are likely going to get dicey again. And with the sun setting, the roads will just continue to deteriorate, it looks like, here over the next couple of hours. Again, another couple of inches of snowfall, a possibility, but it's really going to be a mess. And this could be one of those record-breaking storms for some areas, Amani.
And Eric, what about the historical significance of this storm? Ohio hasn't seen snow like this in many years. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. When you go back really into about March of 2008, I think is the last time we saw a similar storm in Columbus. Now, Cincinnati, likely we're going to break that record. As of 1 o'clock, Cincinnati had measured 9 inches of snow. So that's still just outside the top 5, but that's as of 1 o'clock. We're likely going to add to those numbers. I think it's going to be at least a top 4 for Cincinnati. Now, Columbus had officially measured 10.2 inches as of 1 o'clock this afternoon. We haven't got the updated number in just yet. We should get that in here fairly soon. Likely we're going to be at least in the top 2 or 3. I'm not sure we're going to get to that 15.5. That was from March 8th, 2008. Definitely impactful. And Amani, one of the things that we've been talking about is this snow that is on the ground. It's not going anywhere. Temperatures are just going to stay cold. In fact, looking at the next 10 days, we don't see temperatures even getting close to freezing. So it's just going to take a while to get rid of this snow, unfortunately.
Oh, man. All right. Our chief meteorologist, Eric Elwell, thank you so much. Heavy snow continuing to fall across Ohio as a powerful winter storm brings up to a foot of snow in some areas. And with conditions expected to worsen, city leaders in Cincinnati are working around the clock to support those who might not have a place to go. Our Javari Burnett has more on where people can find warmth and support.
With snow piling up,
Ohioans seeing multiple inches of snow throughout the state. In central Ohio, the snow measuring at about 9 inches this afternoon. According to AllData Columbus, it's the largest snowfall in more than a decade. The last time we saw this much snow was back in 2010, according to the National Weather Service. Our Krista Lucas has a closer look.
I'm in the Grandview neighborhood to you.
All right, stay warm out there. Krista Lucas for us. Thank you so much. And we'll be providing more updates on the snow as the day and night continues. Animal shelters across central Ohio are seeing a growing trend. More pets being left behind as owners struggle with rising costs and housing challenges. In Columbus, shelters say they're taking in more dogs and cats, stretching resources and staff. Our Cassidy Wilson joins us now with a closer look at what's driving the increase in pet abandonments and how you can help.
Columbus Humane says
the first snow-related death of this massive winter storm in Ohio is now being reported. The Dayton Police Department says a private snowplow company was clearing a private parking lot when the driver accidentally backed over an employee. That employee was immediately transported to a hospital where they were pronounced dead. Now here's a look at the snowfall in Ohio Sunday. The state and several cities declaring a state of emergency. Officials continue to ask that people stay off of the roads if at all possible. Continuing our coverage of this massive snowstorm that's hitting Ohio, our Taylor Brock is in Columbus with a look at conditions there.
Yeah, we're in downtown Columbus tomorrow. In downtown Columbus, Taylor Brock, Spectrum News.
In central Ohio, one local leader is carrying a name the world recognizes and a mission rooted in service. Reverend Joel King Jr. is a cousin of Martin Luther King Jr., and he spent decades pouring into central Ohio from the pulpit to prisons to everyday work, quietly continuing a family legacy. Our Taylor Brock has his story.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., whatever you are.
Taylor Brock, Spectrum News.
The news continues on Spectrum News 1. After the break, we'll have more updates on the weather around the state. We'll be right back.